Before clothes existed, humans were just naked, out in the open, freezing. You'd assume the first thing they did was grab an animal skin and wrap it around themselves. Simple, right? Wrong. The truth is way grosser than that, and it changes what we thought we knew about early humans. Early humans didn't tan leather. They had no idea how. So the fur they grabbed was just a raw, fresh animal skin. Raw skin means blood, fat, flesh still attached. None of it removed, none of it cleaned. So the very first clothing wasn't fur. It was basically wearing a rotting corpse. And without tanning, that skin starts decomposing almost immediately. Within days, it would smell horrific, attract insects, and start falling apart on their body. So why wear it at all? Because freezing to death was the bigger, faster threat. Early humans had to choose between two terrible options, and they picked the smelly one. Eventually, humans figured out something had to change. Wearing rotting skin wasn't sustainable. They discovered that scraping off the fat and flesh helped the skin last longer. But the real breakthrough was even more disgusting, using animal brains to soften the hide. Animal brains contain natural oils that, when rubbed into skin, make it soft and flexible. It worked, but it meant every piece of clothing started with someone's hands covered in brain matter. And brains weren't the only disgusting ingredient. Urine became another key tool. Soaking skins in urine helped loosen hair and break down tissue, making the leather easier to work. This meant early tanning villages likely smelled absolutely unbearable. Smoke was the final step. Hides were smoked over fires to make them waterproof and long-lasting. So the first real clothing process involved scraping, brains, urine, and smoke. Nothing like what we imagine today. Here's where it gets really interesting. Scientists actually figured out when clothing began using lice. Humans have two kinds of lice, head lice and body lice, and they evolved separately. Body lice can only survive in clothing, not directly on skin or in hair. That means body lice couldn't have existed until clothing existed. They needed it to survive. By studying when body lice genetically split from head lice, scientists estimated a date. The result? Humans were likely wearing some form of clothing around 170,000 years ago. That's tens of thousands of years before complex tools, farming, or even permanent shelters existed. Which means staying warm with rotting, brain-tanned, urine-soaked skins was a higher priority than almost anything else. Animal skins weren't the only option either. Some early humans used something even stranger: twisted plant fibers. They'd strip bark, soak it, and twist it into rough cords to weave basic coverings. It scratched, it itched, and it offered almost no real protection from the cold. So between rotting skins and itchy plant fiber, neither option was even close to comfortable. The real game changer came when humans invented bone needles. These needles, dated to around 40,000 years ago, allowed humans to actually sew pieces together. Before this, clothing was just wrapped and tied. Now, it could actually be fitted to the body. This single tool may have helped humans survive ice ages that would have otherwise killed them. Without sewing, loose wraps would constantly fall open, letting in freezing wind. A sewn, sealed garment trapped body heat far more effectively, and that mattered enormously. Eventually, clothing became more than survival. It became identity. Early humans began adding crushed minerals and plants to create the very first dyes. Red ochre was one of the earliest pigments used to color animal skins. Some researchers believe this coloring wasn't just decoration. It may have had spiritual or social meaning. Beads made from shells and bones were also sewn directly onto early garments. This means even tens of thousands of years ago, what you wore could say something about who you were. The next massive leap came when humans figured out how to actually weave fabric. Flax fibers, found woven into cords over 30,000 years ago, may be some of the earliest textile evidence we have. This means actual fabric, not just stitched skins, may be far older than most people assume. Weaving allowed lighter, more breathable clothing, a huge upgrade from heavy, smelly hides. So let's recap exactly what the first clothes actually were. Not soft fur. Raw, unprocessed, rotting animal skin, worn straight off the carcass, softened later using crushed animal brains rubbed directly into the hide, treated with soaked urine to loosen hair and break down tissue, smoked over open fires to make it last and resist water, and eventually sewn together using sharpened bone needles to actually fit the body. And the proof that this all started far earlier than expected? Tiny, disgusting body lice, a creature that could only survive because humans started wearing something at all. So next time you put on a jacket, remember its ancestor was a bloody, brain-rubbed, urine-soaked piece of skin. Clothing didn't start as comfort. It started as a desperate, disgusting fight to survive the cold. And without that disgusting first step, humans may never have survived long enough to spread across the planet. So tell me, out of everything in this video, which part grossed you out the most? Comment below.